For me, I often do big projects. I'm constantly concentrating on making shorts or animating the next big thing to hurt my audience. Dude, I made a whole film. Watch it. Not yet though. This video is more important. It's not. It is not more important. Just watch this video.
Watch it.
People see me and they're like, sheesh, she really is just doing all of that stuff. And eventually, my brain short circuits. My mind blank. My idea is gone. And of course, I have an outlet for all of it. I have aphantasia. My concepts need to go on paper so that I have the steps of a script and make storyboards later. But after that phase, what do? Suddenly, your hand is spaghetti and your brain is pasta sauce. That's what Artblock is like for me. And here is what I do to squash it. Hi, I'm Navi, and let's go over the ways I fix my grind. Number 1, watching movies or shows. I don't actually like watching movies, they stress me out. And they have a lot of stakes, but if I'm watching with my boyfriend, I will give it much more of a chance. New ideas and such. Getting new ideas. Guys, I'm not weird for having a genuine fear of watching movies alone, but when I see a movie that particularly tickles my neurons and new plots that I specifically have never seen due to my lack of consistent exposure to the online world, and my mind activates. As in, I like a moderate amount of exposure to things. It doesn't mean I'm gonna obsess over it, however, it will give me new ideas. I don't even have to do much thinking to be activated. In a world full of memes and absolute brain rot, repetitive concepts can leave us dry and unsatisfied. We need something short and inconsistent to get along with the narratives that we consume on a daily basis. Let me put you on some absolute heat. The best and maybe the most corny films that I personally appreciate. Here is what I'm going to give you for series, and I'm going to give you the animated one first. Of course, Free Run, Apothecary Diaries, Agretzko, Chainsaw Man, Vox Machina, Steven Universe, Arcane, Bluey, Amazing Digital Circus, and that's all for the animated ones. And for the only live action one that I've been watching recently, Attorney Woo, it's stressful, and I need to watch it with someone. Law and government and all that rule stuff make me generally nauseous, but it is such a good show. I highly recommend it. That's all. I don't like looking at real people's faces. It makes me stress. For movies, I've been watching Looking Back, She's in Love with a Gangster, the D&D movies, Sister Rakas, Four Sisters in a Wedding, and any My Little Pony movie. Honestly, it is so refreshing to see those types of movies, and that is all. Number 2, go outside and try something new.
I say, touch that grass. Let's go, touch that grass. Touch that grass.
I was quite sheltered as a teen, and often I would find myself running out of ideas. I find that for the most part, I had been writing based off the existing media that had been planted in my head and had taken over my brain. I find now that a lot of the time I would find my best writing through most of my real life experiences, as when there is an imitation of life, art becomes more emotional and wonderful. My favorite, and apparently everyone's favorite trope that I personally have capitalized on, is the lost baby trope. I used to work with kids ranging from ages 2 to 12, and I'd say I was very good at my job. There were some very good kids who were attached to me and would genuinely have an interest in what advice I would have to give them. Growing relationships with people as a mentor has always been something I had adored. And then there's toddlers. Sometimes I could sit in a chair and just cut paper, and then they would try and crappily braid my hair. Then one of them gets mischievous, and all these babies are now trying to make a nest for their toys in my hair. And I bet from this you can pull so many other stories that I would never know. But when you put it into your art, it will be something different and transformed. And since you knew this firsthand, it will always be unique to you. Number 3, read a book. I can try my best to read, when I can, but a good book is always something that is worth your time. Series like Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, and The Hunger Games are so popular because it gives a world and group of characters which people can relate to. It has so much room for imagination, but gives a nice linear story to follow. I usually read psychological horrors and mysteries, often of the Asian variety, because I'm Asian. And also, I cannot relate to Americanized characters, shoes on the bed, active boyfriends at 13. Like, what? That's crazy. What? No. So I actually became really attached to Asian fiction because I was able to actually understand it and picture what the heck was going on. It's not Disney. I don't relate to Disney. It's really bad. I actually adore a lot of dystopian setting books because of the idea of survival can be universal, but also so different amongst different groups. I could read a ton of books on non-fiction stories, which are, although grim, gives off some great perspectives. I will also be recommending 3 of my top books, which are basic but amazing reads. First one, I don't think you're gonna ever hear about it. It's gonna be The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa, which is a novel originally in Japanese published in 1994 and then translated to English in 2019. The reason I read it was because I was made to do a book report and had to be interviewed about it. And usually my comprehension skills were doo-doo-poo-poo level, terrible, garbage, boo, boo. So I thought to myself, with the cast of teachers and librarians who were predominantly white, I would most likely get away with reading an Asian book that was just translated because I highly doubt that they were going to look in the direction of the Asian section. And I was right to think about it in that way. This Asian section book in my school was so small. Then I read it, and I was so into it, and I kept thinking about it all day. This book was about a writer that lived on an unnamed island that was controlled by an organization called the Memory Police. And every so often, everyone would collectively lose their memory or attachments to objects that they once had. We get to see the mindset and psyche of a person slowly losing all their attachment to everything they've ever known, and slowly dissolving their sense of identity due to the aspects of their life slowly getting ripped away without their knowledge. The second one is also very gruesome, incredibly gruesome, but really good. It's called The Revenant by Michael Punk. It was adapted into a film starring Leonardo DiCaprio. I can say I watched the film before the book. I know. I wasn't that much of a fan of the film because of the fact that I could see everything that happened in the book and it infuriated me. But I know since I can't visualize, I would survive the book. And it's essentially what I did. I read it. It was good. It was essentially a book about a white man living amongst natives and actually getting along with them, like a normal person getting along with people. But then other white men exist, and unfortunately, this is based off of true events, and you know what happens. It felt like a biography, but if you do not like constant upset, then please do not read it for your own sake. Like, put it down. I will put all the warnings here. It is the worst. If you are sensitive to literally anything, it is just upsetting. Then third, it is One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. I don't know. I never heard her name said out loud. But this book was the only book in high school that I was recommended and I could not put down. I loved it. It was so fun and new. It just came out. It was a way of writing that was closer to most fan fictions at the time, so of course I felt more comfortable reading it. It was a book about solving a murder that took place in a school, and the only suspects being a small group of people with vastly different social statuses. I can 100% say, yeah, this is a basic book, it is the popular kid book, but when I read it for the first time when it came out, I became attached. I was given a whole new perspective from each chapter, each of them with a different lifestyle. You had to genuinely search for a reason why they would kill that one guy that everyone hated because he sucked. And I loved it because it let me see into the lives of people I would never relate to, maybe start understanding them a bit more. I found that a lot of my peers who were rich and popular would often be in 10 times a higher class than me and just wouldn't talk to me. Maybe they were classist or just didn't relate to people who had to find their entertainment in video games instead of backyard pools and having access to the newest technology. But getting perspective into the newer lifestyle through the mind of someone who is not condescending was so nice. I find that reading it instead of viewing it on a screen through a filtered video allows me to connect to it better. I'm saying you can watch the Netflix show. I don't know if you'll like it. The book was probably better. But yeah, you can, I guess. Number 4. Try a new medium. Look at me. I was doing gouache paintings every goddamn week, and then I had to do a film. And then, boom, pain, bad, because I was making a film. Now, I don't do the gouache paintings, and I have Artblock. And look at me. I am doing the paintings now. I promise I'm doing the paintings now. Look at it. I believe that drawing on a screen consistently for 4 months is the worst thing I've ever done to myself. Oh, but Navi, you're cracked. Why? Because I hate the feeling of looking at the screen now. It's so bad. Oh, what I do to enjoy it. But no, my brother in Christ, I cannot even lift my Apple Pencil without feeling the absolute trenches of tomb booming and procreating. Wait, what? I said that wrong. Anyways, starting something new to try is always a mind challenge. It keeps your brain fresh and funky. It allows your brain to touch new things, get new ideas. When you tunnel vision and reach the end of the tunnel and the tunnel is also beating the crap out of you, you do not want to go back into the same tunnel. The solution is a new challenge and a new tunnel that you can go through that won't beat the crap out of you. And here are some ideas that you can do that can make you have a new challenge. Yeah, make a video, write a script, make a short story, try sculpting, try carving, work with acrylic paint, work with oil paints, paint with gouache, learn how to sculpt on either Blender or No Bad Sculpt, battle with colored pencils, draw with only pens, master a body part, make a song, do an art challenge, draw fan art, make a zine, make a movie poster, make a guide on the universe of your OCs that they live in. Make an intro song to their series, do a mixed media collage, make a doll out of the character, make an action figure. That's all I could think about. Honestly, I think that you just need to do something that isn't the regular. Number 5. It's like homework. Let's do this. Make a review. A review. Repeat after me. A review. I always find that most artists have so much in their brain and know where to put it. And when they overload, it just sits there. Usually there is also a dump of info somewhere. I have the binders.
I've decided not to show you what I do.
I don't put a linear story, but a timeline of life events with plot events. It is so important to put big story stuff and then stupid crap in with each other. I can write, moved counties and lost all their friends because kid don't have Facebook. Yeah, this is outdated for some of y'all, but that's how it is. And then put right next to it, found out what anime is. Regret. It makes for good character building, and it also allows you to see what the stage every character was on. You can put character IDs together and then gather them all into one little file. You can make fake birth certificates. And yeah, it seems very funny. I like making it silly. It's good to be silly with these characters. And then there are relationship charts with the characters. And then you could do multiple of them for multiple parts of the story. And you could put pages together of other books that inspired you to make the characters or the moments in their life. Or you can make a pitch for them, as in a pitch to make sure that you can propose it to a company as a show/comic/game. You can also do Google Maps and make a graph of where they would be. And events of the story that can affect them can be put on a newspaper format. Like, oh, sorry guys, a meteor just crashed into the port of Seattle. I guess that's a newspaper event that's super important to them. The most important thing is that you put existing word vomit on the page, and you can make it pretty and professional. Plus, it would be so funny to just one day have a conversation where you're like talking to someone in your room, and they're just like, oh, yap to me about your OCs. And then you pull out the binder and you're like giving them a course on your OCs. Time to study, dude. This comes with a quiz afterward. After making a film, it feels so relaxing to finally not worry about art. I got my wisdom teeth out, I was confined to a bed, and other things happened. It feels... I find it's incredibly hard to focus on getting back into my groove. And honestly, even writing this video is exhausting. Because frankly, I should have not pushed myself to make something as intense as what I did. But I am proud. And I'm still very proud to this day of all my efforts and what I put myself through to make it worth it. So, if any of these ideas have helped you, please tell me, or if you yourself have a definite solution to Artblock, then please tell me. Eventually, we all run out of solutions to these problems on our own. I sewed a bag this week, then painted it, then applied metal. That's a lot. That's a lot of work. Anyways, please stay safe and healthy. Bye!